Guys, something absolutely awful has happened, and it is probably... Okay, let me just tell you the story. So this is how it went down. Corey and I were planning, as you knew, we were actually packing to go to Seattle. The whole point of that is because Corey had a business trip and I was just going to come along with him. That's why he rented a car instead of flying down to Seattle. We were just gonna have a lot of fun in between his meetings. And I was like stoked, like that is like the coolest thing. Great, just like a little couple day little road trip down to Seattle, which is only about 3-ish hours away from where we are here in Vancouver. I haven't been to Seattle in a very long time, probably since like 2011 or something like that. So I was super stoked. We were gonna go to like a museum of music or something like that, and it was gonna be like the coolest experience, and just like we were gonna vlog the whole thing and just like have fun and just like go out and have a little excursion, a little getaway together, and it was gonna be really fun. I packed everything that I needed for like a couple days, and I put it in there, and then we were gathering everything, getting all the cords, and okay, I'm just gonna bring my phone, and we were just like getting everything together. And then Corey put his passport on my desk and said, hey, your passport's not here, just like grab your passport, right? And I was like, sure, I'll grab my passport. And then I realized, oh, it's like, I thought it was with your passport. I thought it was in that like passport holder that we have. Then I'm like, wait a second. I haven't even seen my passport since we came back from Bali in like June or August or something. Where is it? Where's my passport? I literally haven't seen it since like the plane. Or at least I don't have any memories of seeing my passport. So like, why can't I remember where I put it? Or like, I thought it was with Corey's passport. This is so infuriating. So I started going through all my drawers, you know, like the scavenger kind of way, just like digging through everything and like, okay, where is it? It's not in this drawer, it's not in that drawer, it's not in my closet, obviously it's not like in my clothes. I'm like literally checking through everything. Okay, it doesn't seem to be here, it's not in the pantry, it's not in like our travel stuff. I thought it could have been with like the papers from like our travel stuff. Corey was even looking through like the kitchen and everything. Why would my passport be in the kitchen? Like we were looking in all the places that we thought it couldn't even be, just to check everywhere. And I was like, okay, maybe it's in the storage room because that's where our travel backpacks are. So we could have just left it in one of those bags accidentally in like a little hidden pocket or something. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go downstairs, I'll check like the suitcase and everything, just like to make sure. And then I'm downstairs and I open up like the big door to our storage unit. There's our bags in one corner, and then our bins or like boxes in one corner, and then there's our travel backpacks there. Now we had already emptied them and I thought we had taken everything out, so I was just checking everything. I even started going through the bins, and I was like, why would I put my passport in a bin that I don't even use or look at? So it didn't make any sense for me to put it in there, and I literally was down there for like an hour, and I was like, where the crap is my passport? And then I was just like standing in there, and I was just like staring into space, and I was like, where's my passport? Like, where would I put it? Where else could it be if it's not here in our house and in our storage unit? Like, where is it? I don't understand. Is it at Corey's grandparents? Or at Jeff and Allie's? Because we got off the plane, we flew into Vancouver, we stayed at Jeff and Allie's for a night. Maybe I left it there. But then if I left it there, wouldn't they have found it already? Unless it's like in behind their couch or something. But yeah, maybe it's at Corey's grandparents. But they've moved, they haven't moved their house, but they've moved the room that we were sleeping in. They've moved everything around, so they would have found it by now, right? And then I was like, okay, well I stayed at my mom's house for like a little bit. Maybe it's in the room that we stayed in at my parents' house. that is possible. Maybe it like fell in behind a dresser, but like you'd think that it would have been found as well if it's there. And I'm like, okay, if it's not at Jeff and Allie's, it's not at Corey's grandparents, and it's not at my parents' house, did I leave it at the airport? Like, did I just drop it while I was walking or something? And then like the realization of the fact that I didn't even have it kind of sunk in, and I was like, okay, I can't even go to the Seattle trip. Like I can't even go. I can't even go to Seattle. Like we had this whole elaborate trip planned out that me and Corey could go, and like now I can't go. We were gonna vlog.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And it's gonna be so fun. And I just like was standing in that storage unit, and I was just like crying, just like tears. I'm like, I can't go to Seattle. A little thought popped in my head, and this thought said, you know, it's just Seattle trip, like it's not the end of the world, like oh boo-hoo, you can't go to Seattle. Like at least we haven't lost any money, because what if I had actually bought a flight to Seattle with Corey? Like that would have just been useless money spent. I was just like staring into space for the longest time, and I was like, okay, but then even if I can't go to Seattle, like if I've truly lost my passport, this passport holds all the stamps from all the countries that Corey and I visited in 2019. Like when we went to Taiwan, when we went to the Philippines, when we went to Bali, those stamps are so cool. Like I freaking love my passport. Even if I have to like replace my passport, because the one good thing is I am wanting to go travel to Europe. I have business partners who live in Ireland and Italy, so we want to go like stay with them. And if I had just realized that my passport was missing when we were leaving to go somewhere like that, that would seriously blow. When Corey left, I said goodbye, I love you. I just cried. I just like sat there and just like bawled my eyes out, because I was like, I can't go and like share this really cool experience with Corey, and it's because of my own stupidity of like not even thinking about my passport. Like I honestly assumed it was just with Corey's. Never assume. People, Cait, don't ever assume that you know where your passport is. Anyways, I'm pretty torn up about it, but you know, there are worse things that can happen to a girl. This one's pretty bad. This one's pretty bad. So I think it costs like $75 or something to go and get a new one. I'm really just inviting the passport to come back to me, because I really want to keep it even for like keepsake kind of way. So I don't know, have you ever lost your passport? Because I know people do. I know other YouTubers have lost their passports, so maybe I'm not the only stupid one here. So that's my story. I mean, that's why I'm sitting here and Corey's down in Seattle right now. That's just what happened.